Relationships ain't easy, and unfortunately, there's nothing you can do to change that, but you can enjoy them more. And if you approach them the right way, they can be more than worth it. So I'm John Sanders. I'm a husband, father, brother, sharing the mistakes and successes that I've made in my own relationships so I can help you with yours. If you're single, struggling to get a date, or if you're married and you feel like you're a million miles away from the spouse that's sitting right next to you, I got something that's going to help you. We're going to have fun, you're going to laugh, but most importantly, you're going to learn something that's going to help you take your relationship to the next level. Or if you don't have a relationship, you'll learn something to help you get one. Let's jump into the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. Today, we're going to go over something that I wish I would have known when I was a lot younger. It's something that a lot of people have questions about. It's how to attract the man or woman of your dreams. So social media, shows, movies, they make it seem easy. But if you're out there trying to date right now, you know that it's not easy. They make it seem like you just, there's always the high school romance movie. You're walking down, you're busy, you got a bunch of books in your hand, and you guys bump into each other. And then while they help you pick up your books and stuff, you guys look into each other's eyes, and it's just magic. And then the next thing, you guys are getting married. But if you follow this podcast at all, you know that relationships ain't easy. So just like you have to work at your relationship when you're in one, there's things you have to do and work on before you get into a relationship. So, how do you attract the person of your dreams? It's actually counterintuitive to what you think. Most people think everything that you need to do is like some way you act, the way you talk, maybe. There's a lot of superficial things. But on our podcast, I'm going to get down to the core of what you need to do. And I'll start off by just saying there's an overall theme between everything I'm going to tell you. You need to focus on becoming the man or woman of their dreams. So how do you get the man or woman of your dream? You focus on being the man or woman of their dreams. And I'll say this again. To find the man or woman of your dreams, you need to develop yourself to be the type of man or woman that they dream of. I heard Eric Thomas say something to this effect and like this. To have a strong relationship, to have the best, percentage or best chance for a healthy, strong, long-lasting marriage is you want to have two whole people. And you want to have two people who are continually working on themselves, developing themselves, and becoming better and better versions of themselves. So this has to start when you're single. So develop yourself to become the person they're looking for. And you need to do this as a holistic approach. It's got to be physically, mentally, spiritually, and then, of course, financially. So you need to create a habit of continually working on all these areas before you meet, quote unquote, the one. Now, I'm not saying you need to be perfect in all these areas, because you'll never be perfect. But you need to be working on, and you need to have habits where you continually get better. If you're the exact same physically 10 years from now where you were today, then you're not continuing working on yourself. If your finances are in the exact same spot, you're still living paycheck to paycheck, you're still getting into debt off of buying things like TVs or boats. If you're still doing that 10 years later, you're not working on yourself. So just encouraging, when you decide that you want to be the best version of yourself that you can be, you'll find out that you'll become a lot more attractive to a lot of people, which includes the man or woman of your dream. So let me give you some examples. Let's say you want someone who is fit and healthy. Well, you need to learn how to be fit and healthy yourself. Because guess what? Fit and healthy people have certain core beliefs, core values, and they want a spouse who's fit and healthy. If you want someone who enjoys being outdoors, guess what? You need to learn how to enjoy being outdoors. If you want someone who loves discussing literature, well, guess what? You need to at least read a few books. So what a lot of people try to do is they want someone, let's take the discussing literature as an example. They want someone who discusses literature. They find that attractive, they think it shows intelligence, whatever, but they decide that's what they want. But they themselves aren't even reading books. So what's going to happen? You go meet someone and they start talking literature. You can't fake it. So if you open your mouth and try to pretend like you even know what these books are they're talking about or to give your opinion on it, anyone who lives that life where they're discussing literature and they're reading literature, they're going to know you don't know what you're talking about. And because of that, you're not going to be as attractive to them as you could have been. So that's all I'm saying. If you're looking for certain qualities in other people, make sure you have the qualities that those people are looking for. And I'm convinced that if you haven't at least started this journey, then there's a good chance, just like we described, even if you meet someone who you may have been interested in dating or could even turn out to be your future husband or wife, it's not going to work. Because when you meet them, like I said before, you're not going to be what they were looking for, and they're going to keep looking elsewhere. So that just doesn't mean you only get one shot. And if you miss it, then you're just doomed for life. But it does mean that you can prolong your journey. And I really believe that there's probably lots of singles out there who are wondering, why am I still single? It could be, I'm not saying it's the only reason, but it could be maybe you haven't been working on yourself to be the type of man or woman that your dream person is looking for. And so when you meet them, they're not attracted to you or not as attracted as they could be. And so therefore, you keep missing out on opportunities that could have led to marriage. But if that is you, if you haven't done that, it's okay. We're going to go over this. We're going to go over all the different areas that you need to be developing yourself in to make yourself more attractive. So the first area to develop, figure out exactly what you want and what you don't want in a spouse. So why is this important? Well, you need to know what you're looking for if you want to make sure you find it. So let me give you an example. Let's say I take you outside. There's a bunch of targets all on these trees. And I say, hey, if you hit the target, I'm going to give you $1 million. And I hand you a bow and arrow and say you get 3 shots. Hit the target, $1 million. It would be smart of you to ask me which target. Because you may hit 3 targets perfectly, but it's not the $1 million target. So you need to make sure you're aiming for the right target. And you need to define that. Now you can have friends help you. For me, I'm a man of faith. So I use, what I found in the Bible, but I'm not trying to push my beliefs on anybody, but that's what's important to me. And that's what helped me. But you need something to help you define what you want. And you need to create a list. So once you figure out what it is, create a list, write it down. There's something about writing down a goal or vision. There's actually been studies on this, as a matter of fact, and you are actually 42% more likely to achieve a goal or reach your vision if it's written down compared to if you don't write it down. Write the vision and make it plain. So for dating and relationship purposes, I would say it this way. Make your list so well that a stranger could pick it up without you there to explain it, and they would be able to find you someone who fits what you want. So let's give you an example. Let's say we're on another game show, and the only way that you can find your future spouse or anyone you're dating has to be through, like a bulletin board, or how when people have a missing cat, they'll staple it up to a light post or whatever, but only through written form. I guess you could put it on social media, we'll say, whatever. But it has to be written form, and they have to read it. And the only people you can date, or the only people that you have a chance to marry, come from people who read your list. They don't get to ask you any questions. You don't get to explain it. You don't have a 15-minute video explaining each point on your list. And they have to go out and find people for you. So make sure that it's detailed. Make sure that it's actionable. It makes sense. And again, if you handed it to someone and said, hey, can you find me someone who qualifies based on all these items on my list, that they would actually be able to do it without even asking you questions. So create a list. Make sure you are aiming for that $1 million target so you can get to $1 million. The second area, you need to be focused on your mission, especially while you're single. So what do I mean when I say mission? Well, we all have skills and talents, and we're all passionate about something. But we're not all using our skills and talents to passionately pursue a career or to make change in the world, etc. So you need to figure out what your skills and talents are, and you need to figure out some mission to get behind and you can be passionate about, and you need to be working on that. So you say, why? I'm going to give you guys just a little hint. People are attracted to people who are skilled, who are talented, and are passionate about something. I mean, we can even take this to the most cliched, romantic, I'll say high school movie. The star quarterback and the cheer captain. Even though this is just high school, let's think about it for a second. The star quarterback. So what does that mean? Well, to be a star quarterback, it's not easy because a lot of people who want to be the star quarterback, but only one person can be the star quarterback at a time. In most high schools, it's a position that you have to compete for. You have to be physically fit. You have to train. You go through practice. It's a long process. You have to play other teams, and those teams are trying to do everything to stop you from being a great quarterback. But part of the allure of a star quarterback is knowing that they persevered through all that. They have skills. They're talented. And they seem passionate about it. They seem to love it. And they excel at it. And so people watching that quarterback being good at what they do is more attractive. I take the cheer captain. Yeah, star quarterback shouldn't be looking at the cheer coach like that. 'Cause she's too old and he's probably too young. So, it's not that kind of podcast. Yes, you guys got me laughing here. Let's look at the cheer captain. The cheer is very similar to football. You have to be physically fit. It's competitive. You have to perform. There's a possibility of failure. You could forget your routine, you get embarrassed. So having someone who has put in the time, has the confidence, and then performs well, because also to be the captain, you got to compete. To get on the squad, you have to compete. Again, it's attractive to see people doing what they're good at. So focus on your mission. A, you'll be a more complete person. And B, you'll be more attractive. So area number 3, you need to learn how to be content while you're single. So what do I mean by being content? There's a lot of people who, and a lot of this is because of what they see in movies and TV. There's this pressure to feel like you're incomplete or something's wrong with you if you're not dating, if you don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend, or if you're not married. So being content when you're single is just knowing that, okay, this is a season. You have confidence that it's not going to be a lifetime of being single, and it's just a season. And you're taking full advantage of being single because there are pros and cons. But why is it really important to have a good view of being single and being, maybe not, to being comfortable with it, but you're still looking, or you're pursuing dating or marriage? So one of the things that you risk if you feel like something is wrong with you because you don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend, or you're not married, and that you have to be in a relationship, like you need somebody, like you just don't feel like you can be yourself unless you're with someone else. There's a term for that. It's called being codependent. People who are like this tend to be people pleasing. They lack personal boundaries. They can have poor self-esteem. And if you get into a relationship with this, you're just opening yourself, and I mean wide open, to be taken advantage of. People who are codependent tend to be more likely to be, your heart's more likely to be broken. People are more likely just to take advantage of you and just use you. This podcast is all about helping you find true love in your relationships. So being content while you're single is going to help protect you. One of the things that's going to help you have the best chances of having a wonderful, long-lasting, enriching marriage is if you find someone who is complete and you yourself are a complete and whole person. If you're not people-pleasing, if you know how to set boundaries in a healthy way, and you have good self-esteem, these are all things that are going to help. Just recognize that there are benefits to being single. One of them, probably the biggest thing, if you ask anyone who's married, especially if they have kids, is just having time to do what you want when you want. You have so much time to do that when you're single. Just ask any married person with kids and ask them how much personal time they get. And I also just want to make sure people are avoiding being used, hurt, abused, taken advantage of, and just having their heart broken by people because they're being codependent, because they want to please people, because they lack boundaries, and they have poor self-esteem. And this kind of goes into the next area, your health. So what do I mean when I say health? I'm talking about eating right, you're exercising, and very important, your mental health. That would be self-esteem, self-image, self-worth. If you have a good self-esteem, a good self-image, you have a good self-worth, you're less likely to be codependent like we talked about before. Why is this important? You just need to take care of yourself and love yourself. The better that you take care of yourself and love yourself, the more likely you are to have standards and not let people, not love you and not take care of you. Because when you get married, you have to take care of them, and better or worse. So for me, I just want everybody to understand that when I say eating and exercising, I'm not saying you had to be an Olympic athlete. So I decided to eat healthy and exercise because I wanted to live as long as I possibly could. And while I was living, I wanted to enjoy freedom of mobility as long as I possibly could. And also, I wanted to avoid diseases, sickness, injuries as much as possible. That brought me a lot of joy. So let me just read you some stats real quick. Some benefits of eating right and exercising right. These things can be avoided if you eat healthy. Cardiovascular diseases. Not all, but many of them. And something that most people probably don't know is cardiovascular, failures or diseases. They actually claim more lives in the world than cancer. Something else that can be avoided would be cancer. Many types of cancers. I'm not saying all. Osteoporosis, bone issues, diabetes. These can all A lot of these things can be avoided or improved just through eating healthy. Also, exercising, in addition, it can help you with memory and brain function. It can help improve that. It releases endorphins, which can help fight against depression. And again, that would go into your mental health. So a lot of this stuff, they kind of work together. Exercising can help increase your confidence. People who exercise regularly, they tend to have a healthier self-image. Again, it goes to mental health. When you're working on yourself and you're trying to be the man or woman of your man or woman's dreams, part of that is working on your health and taking care of yourself and just having self-love. And this goes a little bit into the next thing you need to work on is your appearance. You need to learn how to present yourself in the best way. So why? Why do I need to worry about my appearance? Shouldn't they just love me for me, for who I am on the inside? Because after all, isn't beauty only skin deep? Yeah. But here's also a different point of view. Learn how to present yourself in the best way so you don't get swiped left on simply because you don't know how to, I like to say, clean up nice. So when I'm talking about appearance, what am I talking about? I'm talking about your clothes, your hair, makeup, etc., etc. Let's talk about clothes first. Everyone has a different body type. There are actual terms for these body types. And so clothes, and different type of clothes, fit those people differently. So what you want to do with your clothes, hair, and makeup is you want to accentuate your strengths and you want to minimize your weaknesses. You want to present yourself in the best way possible. This is something we do in life, especially with interviews. We dress up. Unfortunately, people judge books by the cover. Or we can at least say their first impression is heavily influenced by their appearance. So clothes is one of those. So find what type of clothes fit your body's type. And maybe even that you're comfortable in. Hair. This is something girls usually get, but just taking care of your hair, having nice hair, it can help make you look more attractive. I do know I've heard many women say this about men, how much more attractive a man looks when he just simply has his hair cut. Can make him so much more attractive. You can go to a barbershop, pay somewhere between $15 and $40 and get your hair cut. So why wouldn't you? Or you can learn how to do it on your own. Makeup. Learning the balance with makeup. Personally, I prefer to see my wife with light makeup. I'm not a huge fan of heavy makeup. I think what tends to happen is there's certain trends with makeup that I see with women. And so what kind of happens is they put a lot of makeup on and they're all using like a similar trend, so similar strategies and to how they put their makeup on and what type of colors they're using, etc. And so it actually tends to kind of make people look similar because they're all kind of obtaining to the same look. Let me give you an example. I don't know if it's still popular or not, but for a long time, everyone wanted to look like the Kardashians. Well, guess what? She had a professional makeup artist create a look and style and system that looked best on Kim. And everybody else tried to follow that, but not everybody else looks like Kim. And not to try to say, not everybody else is attractive, just to say all of our faces look different. We're all unique. You guys are all trying to look like one person. It's going to make you look more the same. And so what actually ends up happening is you actually stand out less because now it's like, oh, I've kind of seen that look before. I've seen that look before. I've seen that look before. And then when you finally see someone who they find the makeup, ladies, you have to help me in the comments below. I don't know too much about makeup, but when they finally find a makeup strategy that works for themselves, now they stand out. They're the ones who catch more people's eyes because they found something that works with their strengths, their skin tones, their eyebrows, et cetera, their eyes, their eye color. So learn how to present yourself in the best way, especially in this digital age where a lot of people are dating on apps. Your appearance is so much. So learn how to present yourself in the best way. It won't only just help in the dating, but it'll help with interviews. Our last but certainly not least, you need to get your finances in order. Why are finances important? Let me give you 2 stats. Money is one of the most common things that married people fight over. Money is also one of the most common causes of stress in a marriage, and actually just anyone who needs to pay bills. I would say pay off your debt, learn the budget, and pay your bills. These are 3 skills that you should learn before you get married. And these are 3 things that you can just start today, even before you start dating or before you have a official boyfriend and a girlfriend. Pay off your debt, learn the budget, pay bills. These are things that really just make you more mature. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to have more discipline. Part of paying off debt for some people may be credit card debt. Maybe you need to realize if you don't have the money for it right now, then you shouldn't buy it. And paying your bills just is being responsible, keeping track of what you're buying, paying your bills for where you live, car, insurance, all that, and just making sure you pay that on time. Get this in order now, because when you get married, it doesn't get easier. Now you got 2 people, and if you have kids, you have multiple people. So again, be faithful over small things. Be faithful over the little. And that will prove that you can be faithful over more of the big things. If someone came to me and said, this person I'm dating right now, what do you think about them? The finances are one of the things I would ask. And so that's something you can be dinged on. So take care of your finances. Take care of your finances. So, to sum it all up, how do you find the man or woman of your dreams? Well, the best way to attract them is to be the man or woman of their dreams. So develop yourself. Develop your strengths. Try to get better at your weaknesses. Define what you're looking for in a spouse. Focus on your mission. Be okay with being single. Find your style. Take care of yourself. Be healthy. Eating, exercise, and especially your mental health. And get your finances in order. Focus on yourself. The more attractive you make yourself, the more that you'll find that you start going out on more dates, you start getting more notices, you become more and more attractive to more people. So work on yourself. So if you had any questions about this, let me know in the comments. If you think I left something out, let me know. If you heard something that you think would help someone that you know, send them a link. And if you're enjoying this, hit that like button, subscribe, because we're going to have more of these. And I release this podcast every Thursday morning, so be on the lookout for it. So again, you can get the man or woman of your dreams, but you have to become the man or woman of their dreams. So anyway, hope all was going well with your relationships. Hope you learned something that's going to take yours to the next level, or something that's going to help you or get in a relationship. Anyway, see you guys next time. Have a good one.